Welcome back to Mali now, and thousands of people have been on the streets of Gao cheering Malian troops and thanking the French forces who led the advance. The Islamist reign they have lived under since last April is over. The challenge now to ensure that remains. The fall of Gao is the military operation's biggest achievement so far, and troops are now advancing on the historic town of Timbuktu. Well, our international editor is in Gao, the first British journalist there, and has witnessed the jubilation and the casualties that some viewers may find upsetting. Lindsay, what did you see as you came into Gao?
Krishnan, as you can see in Gao now, I'm in somewhere very dark. I'm at a house belonging to one of the officials here. The electricity has only just come on. That's why we weren't able to be with you at the top of the programme. It's dark now. My goodness, it wasn't earlier. We witnessed the most extraordinary scenes as we came in with a military convoy and drove through the streets of Gao.
And how much fighting took place just before this liberation, Lindsay?
There's fighting on the edge of town, but I think it's these scenes as you come into Gao which just show what the people are feeling. The most extraordinary sense of enthusiasm and jubilation, because they've lived under Islamic rule for 9 months now. And many of these people are not the kind of Muslim who want that kind of strict Sharia. These are people with an African background. They have many different cultures as well as being Muslim. Let's go once again and see what it looked like as I came in on the back of that military truck.
What an extraordinary moment, coming into Gao with the Malian military. I can't remember when I've seen such excitement. These people shouting for Mali and for France, smoking, women on motorbikes, dancing, singing, all the things that they haven't been able to do for the last 9 months of jihadi rule. This is quite an extraordinary moment to be here, a level of excitement I can't really remember seeing.
Well, Lindsay, can you tell us more about that Islamist rule and the liberation of that? And you know, how strong were they in Gao? How many were there? Do you have any sense of that?
Well, they were certainly strong here, and they held this town, and they managed to inflict things like Sharia punishments, cutting off the hands of suspected thieves, forcing the women to go round veiled. One of the things today was we saw on the sides of the streets so many women shouting and telling us how happy they were that they no longer had to wear veils. And then and men smoking, because they had been banned from smoking. So this is a culture which is not used to this kind of strict Sharia, but basically the jihadis ruled by fear, and there were certainly some people here who supported them. Those people were not out on the streets today. Many of the jihadis have just melted away. Some of them have gone out into the desert, others have just taken off the jihadi clothing that they had, the loose trousers and so on, and disappeared back into the city. The French and the Malians hold this city now. Outside, we saw several dead jihadis, teenagers who had been killed as they tried to flee the French airstrikes yesterday. But whereas the French, there's no doubt that they've seized this city with the Malian army, they can hold it, but then the French will go, African troops will come in, the jihadis are likely to come back again. And that's going to be what's really difficult and the real challenge. But the people I met today on the streets are determined. They do not want the jihadis back in Gao, not at all.
Is the war effectively over now, Lindsay?
No, the first phase of the war is over. The intense airstrike phase is over. But the next phase is the long guerrilla phase. That's going to go on for months or years.
Lindsay Hilsum in Gao, thank you very much. And it's worth noting that the military advance is also on Timbuktu, that historic city also in the north.